Alright, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I've rearranged the studio a little bit so that the lighting is a little bit better, although I'm still not wearing makeup because who wants to put on makeup on any day, let alone a day where you're trapped at home and you can't go anywhere. So anyway, basically what I wanted to talk about today is the fact that everybody has been shut down. Businesses have been shut down across the country, and particularly in my state, nobody is allowed to go to work. My generic WeWork that I work at has completely shut down, so I don't have internet service that's high speed anymore. It's just kind of all over the place, so you might notice that there's a lack of editing on this episode of the show, and that is because I'm not able to transfer the footage over from my phone to my computer and back again in order to get it uploaded and edited correctly. So just bear with me, guys. We're all hurting. So I've got a couple of things that I wanted to talk about, and this episode is probably going to be a little bit shorter than usual. But I'm sorry in advance. Again, we're all hurting, guys. There's been a lot of difficult things that have gone on, both for me personally and with everything that's going on in the world. It's very, very frustrating. And I wanted to break down a couple of my biggest concerns regarding what's been going on. And my first concern is that there just doesn't seem to be a lot of sympathy or compassion for those of us who are struggling financially due to this partially manufactured crisis, I would call it. It's very frustrating that there's this kind of moralistic argument now that you have to be in favor of the quarantines and the economic shutdowns and basically the economic collapse. And if you're not in favor of that, then you are denying the science again regarding the nature of this disease, and you are not compassionate for the elderly, you are selfish, you are this, you are that. Meanwhile, all those of us who are complaining and having a problem with how things are being dealt with are losing our jobs. We're we're hurting financially. Our businesses are being shut down. We're not able to go shopping the way we normally would. There's huge economic impact, and one of the arguments that I was met with when it came to this, why can't we just all just do as we're told, stay at home for 2 weeks, and then go straight back to normal? Well, the reason is because we will not be going straight back to normal. People are not going to just get their jobs back at the end of this shutdown. People are not going to just be able to go back to normal life. This is life-changing stuff that people are going through. People are not going to be able to return to normal living for a long, long time, even just as we are now. Even if we turned everything back on tomorrow, we're not going to be able to go back to normal. We've already jumped the gun. And so I just would like to, I guess my call to action here is to ask that people please have a little bit more sympathy for people who are suffering economically, financially, and so forth. Please do not call them selfish for wanting to go back to work because they have bills to pay. Please do not imply that there is something morally wrong with them because they are concerned about whether they're going to be able to pay their bills. Because unfortunately, I've received a lot of comments of that nature, both from the left and from the right. In fact, the majority of the comments I've received personally are from people on the right saying that somehow I am selfish, somehow there's something wrong with me because I don't like the hysteria, I don't like the paranoia, and I don't like how we've just bent over backwards and really, I think, exaggerated the situation much farther than any other disease I've ever seen. And when you compare the numbers on this particular disease to previous diseases under other administrations, not the same response, not the same concern. And that's kind of leading into my second point, because people are going to call me conspiracy theorist and all the rest of it. But here's the bottom line. If we had a Democrat president right now, the media would be bending over backwards and to minimize the consequences and minimize the stress and the blame being placed on the current administration, if it was an administration that they wanted to support. The reverse is the case. They don't want to support this administration. In fact, they would like to destroy this administration. And so that's the reason why the media particularly, and those who would like to use this crisis, it was a Democrat that said never let a crisis go to waste. Those people are the ones that are trying to bring down this administration. They would like to destroy the economy, or have the economy look really bad, so that this current president loses his re-election bid in November. So that is why the paranoia has been fostered, catalyzed, and all the rest of it by the media. That's another source of my frustration, because we're basically all being used for political purposes. We're just pawns in the game, because I think it was Bill Maher who said it's better that large numbers of people lose their jobs than Trump get reelected. So, this is just the way they think. They don't care about people's lives. They don't care that people are suffering, that people are struggling to pay bills, that people are losing their jobs and their businesses and everything that they've worked so hard for. They don't care about any of that. They care about using this crisis to remove the current administration from power. And regardless, I have it in my Twitter bio, I'm not a Trump supporter. But regardless of what you think of the current administration, you cannot put your politics ahead of the well-being of real people. Just kind of wrapping this up, my final point is that I have huge concerns about the amount of power that we're giving over to the government to handle this issue. So many people who are conservatives are just throwing away our rights and willfully advocating that, all of a sudden a stimulus package, we're pushing for a stimulus package. We are pushing for a Barack Obama style stimulus package to keep the economy going. This is unheard of. These are the conservatives that are pushing for this. I would vote against it. Like, if I was in Congress right now, I don't care. I would be voting against this thing. A stimulus package is not going to get the economy going. It's going to make the economy worse. It's going to destroy it even further. And people need to understand that. That money we don't have. We don't have any money there. There is no money to give anybody. There is no money to continue paying for Social Security. All of that is being borrowed. Every last cent. So there is no rhyme or reason why people should be advocating for a stimulus package. What is wrong with you? This is the reason why the Tea Party started in 2009. This is the reason. It was a backlash against the Barack Obama stimulus package in 2009 to jog the economy and all the new taxes and new regulations and everything that increased. And it's just really frustrating to watch conservatives now advocating for that stuff. So, additionally, in my state, in California, we're having everything just completely shut down. All of our businesses, they're in LA and in San Jose and San Francisco, they now have people that are licensed to go around and make sure you're complying with the quarantine order. This is fascism. Like, we have to go to the government and ask permission to go to work. We have to go to the government and ask permission to live our normal lives now. We could get picked up off the street and told to go home, or I don't know. I'm just really it's jaw-dropping to see how fast we've gotten to this point and how so many people have just thrown it overboard. Just completely out the door. Your rights aren't important. My right not to be afraid is more important than your right to freedom of assembly or freedom of bodily autonomy. I mean, we're throwing out habeas corpus almost at this point. I'm exaggerating on that point. Please, everybody calm down. But it's just so frustrating. I just can't believe that this is happening. I can't believe that people are allowing this to happen. So that's basically what I wanted to talk about today. I hope you guys can try to have some compassion for people that are suffering during this time, and that are not necessarily sick, but they're losing their jobs and their financial well-being, because that's really, really destructive to people. And I just feel like it's really unfortunate that we've decided to make the decision for people whether they want to risk getting sick. That should be their decision when it comes to either whether they should go to work or not. So that's my little story there for you guys, and I will talk to you guys on the next episode, and hopefully it'll be a little bit more positive. So stay tuned.